Hello, and welcome to my second ever attempt at casting. I'm Annie, aka Android, and let's see what this game has to offer. Alright, starting off, we've got a Juggernaut on the Radiant, Crystal Maiden, a Pudge, a Slark, and a Tusk, so they're going to be going for pretty wombo combo team fights. Looks like this Crystal Maiden's going to be picking up a ward, dropping one off to Slark, so it looks like he's going to be going to the off lane. He's picking up an early ring of protection, getting some stats. On the Dire team, we've got a Lina, Jakiro, Luna, and a Invoker and a PL, so it looks like they're going a little bit more farming oriented, trying to get everyone nice and big before they jump into any big fights. There's going to be some contest over the top rune with Tusk going in, finding the Jakiro, trading some blows, but oop, there goes the Ice Path. Invoker's hitting some guys, Pudge is hitting them, and the rune is going to go to Jakiro down bottom. Easy pick for the Radiant. Looks like Juggernaut sitting on the bounty rune, but not really taking it.
I'll take that.
Grabs it right as the Luna comes in. Is he going to try to go take some hits? Looks like there's a pause coming out from the Pudge. We'll see what's going on with him. Overall, though, pretty even trade both sides. No one really came out ahead for that. The Radiant got one rune and the Dire got the other, so shouldn't be that bad. Jakiro holding on to both wards, probably getting some early vision. Some Russian coming out. I do not understand that at all, but hopefully the game will get resumed soon. Overall, I think the Radiant might have a slight advantage in picks early game, just because the Juggernaut and the Pudge can do some real damage before the Luna and the PL can get that big. Game unpausing, Pudge is back. He's holding on to some regen and some 2 Gauntlets of Strength, so he's definitely going early earn while the Invoker is trying to build up his stats. Down bottom lane, we're going to have a Lina playing more of a support role, with the Luna trying to get farmed up and carrying as big as she can. Slark's going to be there, taking some early harass from the Lina. Pudge looking to get his farm up, hitting the Invoker. And up top we have Tusk trading blows with Jakiro. Ice Path comes out, but is off the mark. Tusk going in, even though his health is below half. Pops the Ice Shards, but not enough to catch him out. Down bottom there's some early aggro coming out. Lina getting caught out between stuns. She stuns where she is herself, but it doesn't quite catch anyone on the Radiant side. Slark gets a pounce. Is this going to be first blood? It looks like it will. Lina stuns up both heroes. Can they get away? Crystal Maiden coming in with some right clicks, but is it enough to bring her down? She will get away safely, but the Lina does end up going down to the Crystal Maiden right click.
First blood.
Crystal Maiden's now sitting on 500 gold, so that's going to be pretty good for her early support farm.
Let them feel the cool of your blade.
Slark grabs a TP and is heading up top to where the Tusk is extremely low. Can he do anything about it, or is he just going to kind of hold the lane and soak experience while the Tusk goes back? Tusk does pop his salve, so he doesn't really need to go back to base right now, but he is out of any big amount of regen for his next initiation. Down middle, it looks like pretty even trading with Pudge. He's sitting at 2 last hits, while Invoker has 9 and 2, so Invoker's coming out heavy on the farm, but Pudge is getting his experience up. Up top, there's a PL Illusion chasing down the Tusk, giving him some heavy harass, but nothing he can't handle with some tangos. Jakiro is still sitting on 2 wards, hasn't quite put them down yet. He's trying to figure out where his team needs vision. Down bottom there's an Illusion rune, unclaimed, and up top there's a bounty rune going to be grabbed by the Pudge.
Lovely.
Bottom lane, Crystal Maiden seems to be holding the lane experience. She's already got her boots from that nice first blood, and the Juggernaut is pulling the wave. Will he get this one? It might be just too late. He does end up grabbing 3 of the 4 creeps. Doesn't look like it's going to get farmed though. Oh, there he goes. Crystal Maiden sitting there, not really grabbing much XP, but probably figuring out what she wants to do next. Illusion rune still unclaimed, but the Pudge does go ahead and clarity himself up, trying to get his mana back up for some more hooks and rots, whatever he needs to do. Up top, Slark and Tusk are farming away, pretty much uncontested. PL does pop one of his 2 clarities, and he already has his Basilius, so he's doing pretty good in terms of mana sustain. Jakiro roaming down towards mid, hopefully trying to catch out the Pudge. But down bottom, is Lina going to try to find this Crystal Maiden? Crystal Maiden pops the freeze. Juggernaut hits the Blade Fury, gets stunned up by the Lina. Luna is now sitting in the middle of the 2 Radiant creeps. Juggernaut pops a crit, but it's not enough to get them down, just kind of harassing them back into their spot in lane. Jakiro's roaming back top, didn't really find anything down mid, but he did put down 2 wards, looking pretty nicely. That's probably what he wanted out of that rotation, to get some more vision for the Dire side. Lina getting some good harass on Crystal Maiden, just like 2 sisters fighting it out. Up top, we do have Jakiro trying to get down this Slark, but nothing really is going to happen out of that. He is able to run away. PL trying to harass this Tusk now. Can he bop another Ice Path? It is up. There he goes. He does get it. The Sunstrike does bring down the Slark. Good job on the Invoker mid. And the Tusk should be getting away safely, although if he does initiate, I'm not sure he can stay. The Ice Path is going to be up in 2 seconds. Down bottom, the Juggernaut's going to end up going down to the Luna right clicks, but the Crystal Maiden will be alive and able to soak up experience. Bottom rune has been replaced with a Bounty rune, while up top we have a Haste under very good vision by the Dire side. Looks like Pudge is going to try and rotate, but the Dire is going to know what's going on and give Invoker a little bit more room to push mid while he's away. Juggernaut is TPing back down bottom. Pudge grabs a Haste rune coming up top, trying to find a hook. Can he go on Jakiro? He does miss the hook, but walks in and rots anyway. This might be a bad move for the Pudge. He looks like he's going in a bit too deep, gets frozen up, and PL should be able to clean him up. Although he is going to get away safely for now, because he does still have his Haste rune and his bottle. Jakiro very low, while PL's sitting fine, trying to find the Pudge that walked away. Pudge looks like he should be able to get back to mid just fine if he chooses his pathing correctly. Down bottom, Lina casting some more harass on Crystal Maiden. Are they going to be able to do anything about it? Jug is getting his farm pretty well off. He's not sitting on a lot of items right now, but he's getting his good last hits. He only has 6. I didn't realize that. He could be doing a little bit better with those. Invoker, however, mid, does have his recipe for Hand of Midas, so he's definitely going some more farm-oriented build. He does have 28 last hits, so that's going pretty good for him. Up top, PL is running low on mana. Pudge tries to cast a hook. He does miss, unfortunately. Tusk is roaming in, just a Stout Shield and a bottle for him, so overall we have 2 bottles in the team. PL getting some good farm under turret. He is sitting on 11 last hits, so that's pretty good for him. Up top, it looks like Jakiro's going to be TPing in mid. He's going to go try to get this Bounty rune down bottom. Bottom lane's going pretty easy for the Dire. Lina casting her harass. Jakiro does grab the rune. Is he going to try to rotate towards the bottom lane? Slark does pick up the Phantom Lancer up top. Probably jumping in, getting a good pounce over there. I'm sorry I missed that one. Looks like Jakiro is trying to set up something bottom lane with the Juggernaut sitting at about half health. If he can get a good Ice Path, that could be pretty key. Does catch out both the Crystal Maiden and the Juggernaut. Slark Blade Fury's away. Crystal Maiden looks like she will be the victim of this gank right now. And she does go down to the Lina right clicks.
Crystal Maiden?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
PL rotating back up top. Slark pounces away from any harass he could take. They get it about 3/4 of the way down. Or, sorry, 1/4 of the way down. 3/4 health still remaining on that tower. Pretty effective push, and they did bring down the PL earlier. So top lane's going pretty well for the Radiant side, while Dire is commanding the bottom lane. No one mid right now. Creep's just kind of trading blows a little bit on the Dire favor, but not that much. Overall, the net XP is in favor of the Dire, with 3 kills to the Radiant's 2, whereas gold earned is heavily in their favor at this point in the game, probably due to Invoker's great last hitting. Tusk is trying to set something up mid, but he might just be rotating through with the Slark. Slark now having a ward. He still hasn't placed his initial one, so probably trying to figure out where the best place is, hops away from the Invoker, and he will be okay. Might be thinking about a trip back to base soon to get his regen back up. Up top, PL's farming pretty uncontested. He's sitting on only 100 gold, but he does grab his Aquila, so that'll help him out a lot with his mana sustain and his wave push. In bottom, it looks like just a solo CM against a tri-lane from the Dire, but they won't be able to grab anything off of that. She's staying pretty safe. No one's grabbed the Bounty rune yet, bottom lane. That could help out Pudge with his bottle, but it is sitting full at 3 charges, and he's pretty healthy, so nothing to worry about now. Top rune is grabbed. Pudge heading back mid, trying to see if he can push the tower, as the creeps are doing it for him.
Is under attack.
PL is pushing up top tower pretty well. There's really no one there to contest, although 2 of the Radiant are walking in. PL is taking harass from this tower. You might try to de-aggro that, or just run out of its range. Juggernaut does get picked off bottom by Lina. Stun misses on the CM.
Top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under
Radiant
attack.
Courier running down the river. Alright, down bottom, the Lina's getting pretty big. She does pick off another kill of the Slark, who tries to come in and save his friend Crystal Maiden, who's solo in the bottom. So this tri-lane from the Dire is working out really well. Jakiro Ice Path into Lina's stun into Luna damage is getting the Luna nice and fat. She's able to pick up both her Tranquil Boots and her Aquila to help her out with the wave push. The Lina's able to grab her Magic Stick, and she already has Mana Boots at 8 minutes in the game, which is going to really help out her team sustain. Pudge moving in, trying to grab a hold of something. Tries to see the Jakiro, but is afraid to go in as he does see everyone else there as well. Slark coming in. Can they make anything of this play? Probably not. Doesn't look that easy. Pudge does grab the Luna, and it looks like they're going to be able to pick off the Luna. Slark helps out with his Dark Pact, but it isn't really doing much. Jakiro tries to see what else he can do. Crystal Maiden pops the freeze. There is the pounce. Can they bring him down in time? Looks like Jakiro is going to go down to the Slark. Sorry, the Juggernaut does end up getting the last hit. Another great pounce from Slark, but does get pulled back by the Pudge. Can they bring him down in spite of that? It doesn't look like they'll have enough damage. Lina holding her own. Can Pudge get another hit? No, she will be fine.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Looks like the Pudge is now in danger of tower hits and creep aggression. He's going to try to deny himself. There we go. Get the suicide.
Radiant's top tower has
I'm sorry, my
fallen.
mouse is being very strange. Let me just pause this for a second. Gotta unplug and replug. It is like it's not sensitive enough. I'm sorry about that. Alright, that seems like it's a little better. Let's resume. Alright, Tusk is going to try to get hit by the Luna. Is casting some damage, but the Tusk is double damaged. Gets hit by the Invoker. Cold snaps. Can he get away in time? He does cast his things, but he does go down to the Lucent Beam by the Luna. Jakiro popping the Ice Bath just to make sure. Does pop down a Sentry Ward and sees the Radiant Observer Ward. Going to try to take that down now. Grab himself some nice gold. Lina does pick up another kill, but will she go down to the Slark? No, she actually does get a double kill onto the Slark. Very good job for Lina this early in the game. Can she pick up an item off of that? She's sitting on 1,300 gold. 1,400 now, so she'll be able to grab something big.
Radiant's
Luna
top
not too
tower is
farmed,
under
only holding on
attack.
to about 500 gold on top of her Tranquil Boots and Aquila, but should be able to make something soon. Tries to catch Crystal Maiden in the Ice Path, but does miss. Looks like Radiant is going to rotate in 3 heroes, trying to defend some sort of, make some sort of defensive mount on their bottom lane, because it's going so well for the Lina and the Luna. Jakiro does get frozen up. How much can Crystal Maiden really cast, though? Is she going to go down to the right clicks of the Luna? No, she should be okay. Popping her Clarity. Slark is ulting in. Can they bring down the Jakiro? They will be able to take down the Jakiro, but the Luna looks just fine. Is she going to pop her Eclipse? This might be a good time for her to do it. Does get hooked in by the Pudge, and will go down to the Crystal Maiden, actually. She ends up getting the last hit on that. Invoker, meanwhile, has been free farming mid, grabbing some great items, does now have Phase Boots and Midas, sitting on 49 last hits at 11 minutes, so great job on the Dire Invoker, keeping mid well in control. Lina picking up a Void Stone, trying to get some more mana regen, mana sustain. Pudge grabs the Illusion Rune and bottles that up. Does pop it and trying to make some cheeky plays with that. Brings his Courier all the way into the Dire side, but looks like there's a fight over the Courier right now. It is now just sitting near the Roche Pit, so hopefully they figure that out soon. Going to Pudge in the bushes, trying to grab some sort of gank on mid. He does see the Jakiro and Invoker, confusing them a little bit, but they're not popping anything. They know it's an Illusion Rune. PL now rotating into the jungle, not grabbing too many new items. He does have his treads, but only about 800 gold in the bank. 41 last hit, so that's decent farm at this point in the game. He might wish he could do more, and he has since left the top lane, as now the Crystal Maiden and the Juggernaut have rotated in there. Pretty good support combo going on. Crystal Maiden now has her boots. She does have 2 points in her aura, helping out her team with her mana. Score is 7-10, so the Dire are sitting at advantage at kills. Looks like the Radiant might be trying to make up some of that right now as they grab in the Invoker with the Pudge hook and the Pudge ults. Slark pounces in and pops his ult. Can he get this Invoker, or is he just too elusive? Looks like the Invoker might be trying to get away, but long range hook from Pudge almost misses. Slark with the pounce. Can he grab it? Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden brings down the Lina. Invoker's going to get away. Ult is popped, does bring down 2 more of the Radiant with the double damage Luna. So Jakiro is going to grab the kill on Crystal Maiden, give him some nice gold. He's now sitting on 790 with his boots in his stash. Hopefully bring those to him soon, because he is a sluggish little dragon right now, sitting at only 290 move speed. Luna doing pretty good, grabbing up her Elf Skin, trying to make something out of that. Slark has his Orb of Venom, trying to get some more poison attacks and damage per second. Does take a Lucent Beam to the face. He's sitting pretty low on health and mana, although he's going to regen pretty fast with his passive ability. PL now back in lane, pushes it back in favor of the Dire. Looks like the Dire have a pretty commanding lead right now in terms of net worth. They're doing pretty well, 5,000 in their favor, just due to the kills and the Midas on the Invoker, and just the farm on the PL on the Invoker in general. Looks like there are 3 Dire mid trying to make something happen with the Forge Spirits now, pushing in a little bit. The tower is at about a third health, so they can get that down pretty easily with a nice push. Pudge is waiting to punish someone that comes his way, but the creeps are going to get in the way and scout him out. He has to get back. Can he take a Lucent Beam and live? He's going to be fine. Looks like they are going to pick up this tower unless there's a Fortify in favor of the Radiant. It does go down. Pudge is going to try to see if he can set up something on the back lines, but not too confident with that. Up top,
Your fate was always crystal clear.
Up top, there's a fight breaking out. Crystal Maiden coming in, the Radiant rotating really far in under dire structures. They do pick off the PL, and the Luna's going to try to clean up the creep damage. In the forest, though, another fight's going down. Jakiro catches out the Slark, and Cold snaps him. Is he going to be able to get away? No, he does end up going down. Meanwhile, Pudge catches the Invoker. Can he punish him for that? No, he's actually taking an incredible amount of damage, and he will be going down to the Invoker. Jakiro goes down to the Tusk ult, but I don't think anything more can come of this, although the Tusk might be paying for this with his life as he jumps into the Luna. Invoker does get his revenge, and looks like the Radiant are getting cleaned up through that one. They only lose their Jakiro and earlier the Phantom Lancer, but they do take down Pudge, Slark, and Tusk, so pretty good trade in favor of the Dire. PL's now farming down bottom, feeling pretty comfortable getting his space, as the Radiant usually tend to rotate together. He does now have his Blade of Alacrity, so get him some more agility in there. Illusion Rune sitting up top, no one really scouting that out, there isn't any vision on that. The only vision left is the Dire vision in the Radiant jungle, which is going to go down pretty shortly. Looks like the Crystal Maiden's trying to hold off a lane of 3, the Luna, Invoker, and the Lina, and that's not going to go very well for her at all if she tries to push her luck on that. PL going to grab the Bounty Rune bottom. Radiant creeps doing what work they can on the mid tower, but it's not going anywhere fast. Right now it looks like the Radiant are just kind of being strangled. They're not taking good fights, they're not taking clean fights. Pudge grabbing onto a creep there, and it looks like he's walking a little too far in. Crystal Maiden does grab the spark on that. She is ulting, and it looks like they will be able to bring down the Luna. Crystal Maiden does get brought down by that, and will the Juggernaut be able to live? He pops his healing ward and heal him right back up. He does have his Ogre Club. Looks like he might be trying to rush an early Ags. Pudge does grab onto the Lina. Gets stunned up, but still does die to the Pudge Rot.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Meanwhile, Slark and Tusk are able to clean up Radiant Tower bottom.
Tower is under attack.
So that's an overall good trade for them, as they get 3 pickups on the Dire, only lose the Crystal Maiden top, and they do get Dire's bottom tower. But the PL and the Jakiro are pushing in mid lane and hitting on the tier 2 pretty hard. Looks like Pudge and Juggernaut are going to try to punish that. Juggernaut does have his ultimate, so hopefully he can make something happen with that, as they are standing pretty close together. The Blade Fury being popped, Jakiro getting hooked into the Pudge, and looks like he will pay for that with his life. Invoker, Sunbeam coming out, but nothing can happen off of that. And the Dire just kind of flee back and reset, although Tusk is going in real far, tries to snowball in, but might just be standing and accepting his fate. Does get the Luna to about half health, but he will be dead to the Lucent Beam and the Invoker Forge Spirit damage. Fight still going on mid, as Crystal Maiden and Slark are hanging around seeing what they can get out of that, but Invoker and Luna and Lina might just be too big to push against. Lina now sitting on another Staff of Wizardry, so getting her intelligence up pretty high, doing what she can. And looks like the Radiant are just trying to make as much space for themselves as they can. Farming up bottom, Slark trying to get big. Juggernaut not having any more items. He does have 1,000 gold in the bank, so maybe another piece of his Ags on the way. Lina going to be going checking out the Roche Pit, see what's happening there. And looks like she's rotating towards bottom. PL in the jungle, sitting comfortably at 73 last hits at 17 minutes, and doing pretty well for his items. Picks up another Alacrity, so it looks like he's going for his Diffusal Blade. Invoker rotating down. Are they going to be trying to do a Roche here, or just a bottom lane push? I'm not really sure, but they are in the position to command the map. There's not really much the Radiant can do in a big team fight. Jakiro does put another Sentry and Observer set down to keep an eye on this side of the Radiant jungle and the Roche Pit. Radiant's rotating up top, does find the PL, figures out which one's real. Juggernaut, there's not much he can do. His Omni Flash would be useless against this many creeps. Luna popping a Lucent Beam and finding the Crystal Maiden, taking her down pretty far, but the healing ward from the Jug does bring her back up pretty fast. Lina coming in, gets hooked by the Pudge. Is there anything she can do about it? No, he pops the ult and she is dead, but Pudge is now getting blocked in by the PL illusion. He finds his way out, And meanwhile, Juggernaut does pick off the Luna, so that's a big loss for them. Luna could have really used that time to farm up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle
Invoker
tower
getting some
is
free
under
farm on the
attack.
bottom, taking down the tower, and getting back a good
Radiant's
trade for the
bottom
Dire, but I don't
tower
think it
has
was worth it to
fallen.
lose 2 of their cores at this point. Jakiro, super hasted up and grabbing the bounty rune. It looks like he's going to be pushing bottom with his friend Invoker. While the Radiant are going all
Dire's
5 in on this top
top
tower,
tower
they
is under
need
attack.
towers on this side of the map.
Dire's
4 to 5 being
structures are
popped,
fortified.
and they're all just really counting on this tower going down to get something positive out of this trade.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So far, an XP is actually back up to 0. Radiant doing really well in that last couple set of fights, grabbing the tower too. Dire Courier flying pretty far into the Radiant jungle, going to
Radiant's bottom
drop
tower is under
wow,
attack.
drop a Desolator off to Invoker. That's something you don't see every day. But he now wants to take down their armor and take them down even faster, melt them like butter. Slark's coming in to clean up some of the creeps rushing down mid, while the rest of the Radiant team is gathering up at the tier 2 top. Deep in the enemy
Radiant's
jungle,
bottom tower has fallen.
Invoker does manage to bring down the tower with his Forged Spirits and his new Desolator, so that's going to be overall really positive for the Dire. Trying to get back some of their experience. In terms of net worth, the Dire are still ahead by 2,500, but that is definitely recoverable. They've brought it back down from about 7,500, and it's going back up a
Dire's
little bit
middle
in the
tower
Radiant's
is under
favor.
attack.
So the Radiant are definitely not out of this. They're starting to rotate as, you know, groups of 4 or 5, trying to do more of a team fight aspect with their Wombo combo. And I guess the Dire are just comfortable farming up right now, leaving Luna up top solo, no one really pressuring her there, and the rest of them kind of sitting mid, trying to see what they can do with that. Pudge does grab an Illusion Rune, pops it right away. It'd be nice to have those extra bottle sips. Bounty Rune still unclaimed top. Sorry, bottom. Luna getting space to farm, does pick up a Yasha. That'll help her out a little bit with her speed. Pudge Illusions just kind of go in mid to harass a little bit. Nothing big coming out of that. Ice Shards pop, but doesn't really get much done. Just kind of a, you know, screw you, get back kind of move. So it is going to be 3 on the Dire sitting mid and 4 on the Radiant sitting mid. Actually 5 as Slark's going to join him. They're trying to figure out what their next move is. They're unsure, you know, where they can go on the map that's safe, where's the best place to take a team fight, you know, what's the best way to get back in the game from the Radiant side. Slark is now under Dire vision completely as he goes to grab this rune, but doesn't look like they'll be rotating for him. Looks like a fight is trying to break out mid as the Dire mid tower is sitting very low. That'd be a nice pick off for the Radiant to grab and get some extra XP their way. Dire is able to push this back. Wow, Pudge gets a great hook on the Invoker, casts the ult, but does get Ice Passed. Crystal Maiden is able to pop him down. Big fight going on, lots of stuff happening. Walrus Punch being popped and does get the Luna pretty low. Luna pops ults and will not be taken down by a great Slark Punch. She is sitting at only 14 HP. Crystal Maiden gets Yulesed by the Lina and stunned up by the Ice Path and the Lina stun, and looks like she will be going down. Snowball comes out, takes down the Jakiro. Crystal Maiden does die to burn damage by the Jakiro, and Tusk is trying to clean up the Lina, running out of this fight with just her Yules and cooldown for another 7 seconds. Gets a great stun off, but the Freezing Fields ward by the Tusk will not be enough to save him and slow her down, as Lina does get the pick off with her right clicks. Thanks to her Fiery Soul passive, she is attacking pretty damn quick. Omni Slash is popped on the PL and does bring him down, but Jug is getting away with, you know, only about a third HP. Does pop his healing ward to get back up pretty fast, but he is the sole survivor on the Radiant side after that fight. I mean, very confusing fight. I'm not really sure who came out on top. Let's check the difference.
Radiant's
Net
top
worth sitting
tower
about
is
the same
under
as it was a
attack.
couple minutes ago, and yeah, XP is sitting pretty close to 0 again, so both teams coming out pretty even. Juggernaut did get, you know, a lot of experience in that fight, but the rest of the team's kind of starving. Lina grabs an Invis rune, and she's on her way trying to rotate, see what she can find. There is a yummy
Radiant's
Slark
top
sitting out pretty
tower is
solo
under
here, but
attack.
can she take him down with only about 2/3 HP? She is going to follow up on him and see what happens. Slark might know something's up because his passive isn't quite on. But is he going to be able to do anything? Jakiro rotates him with the Ice Path, stun comes out, and Lina ult will clean him up real nice. The 4 remaining Radiant heroes are clustering up mid, trying to figure out, you know, where they can go, where is safe. They don't really have any vision on the map, while the Dire does have Observer wards scattered about, keeping their lanes pretty safe. Dire is figuring out how to push mid. Over there, Pudge does get a clean pick on the Lina. It was probably just overstaying her welcome a little bit. Juggernaut TPing mid, trying to see if the Radiant can rotate and push up there. Currently no runes on the map. Let's see who has what right now. Pudge looks like he's maybe grabbing an Ags for that with his point booster in tow. Down mid, Radiant's just kind of farming their mid lane. Crystal Maiden's cleaning up top. She is out pretty far on her own without much vision, so she could get punished for this. Sorry, I'm getting spam chatted.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dire cleaning up their creeps that are being pushed in by the Radiant. And Slark TPing in mid. Looks like Radiant will finally be able to clean up this tower mid that's been bugging them for so long. It's been low for about 10 minutes now. And let's see what that puts them in terms of experience. They're almost back at 0, a little bit in the Dire's favor, but no real leads being had. Looks like it's kind of planning out. Haste Rune down bottom will be going to the Pudge, who's going to pop it right away. Let's see where he runs. Looks like 3 Dire are bottom, although 2 are now mid. Find a Forge Spirit, clean that up for some easy gold. Juggernaut now grabs his Morbid Mass, trying to get some lifesteal up as quick as he can, so he can last longer in fights and just chop people down without taking as much damage to himself. PL pushing mid. He does have his Diffusal Blade right now, 8 charges still sitting on that, and he's sitting on 1,500 gold, so he's able to start building his next item if that's what he wants to do. Unclaimed Bounty Rune up top, not much of a deal. Lina is cleaning up the top lane, just kind of farming casually away from her team, but she is going to be grabbing a TP right now, so she can get where she needs to go in about 30 seconds. Pudge does grab a Jakiro, and that little dragon will be going down to the Pudge ult. But he's not going to be punished for that at all, just a free pick for the Radiant team, so that's exactly what they need to get back. Lina's going to be pushing the tier 2, trying to force the Radiant team to rotate, and looks like all 5 of them will take the bait. Fortify is popped, and she does walk back from that. Her game sense is tingling. She knows she's not safe pushing there. Radiant is still rotating, you know, in the midish top area, trying to figure out where the next fight's going to break out. The rest of the Dire is clumped up mid. They're trying to see if they can, you know, push their advantage while the rest of the team's chasing Lina. Some scouting in the Dire jungle. Looks like Tusk will walk under this Observer ward right there. Pudge missing a hook. So it looks like the Radiant are kind of clumped up in this river, and Dire are surrounding them, so if they moved in, they could probably get him. Slark finds a nice easy Forge Spirit. Helped him out build his Basher. Great timing on that. And that should help him out in the fights. If he can get a couple lucky bashes, that kills his. PL waiting in this tree line. He's going to be TPing to their bottom tower, and that looks like where the Dire's going to be pushing. They're going to all set up towards the bottom lane. It's just been a lot of waiting on your side this game. You know, the Radiant's scared to cross the river. They're sitting right at that boundary, and the Dire's kind of setting up on their side, walking scared together. They're not really sure where's safe, although great vision is on the Dire side. Jakiro with 6 sentry wards and 3 observers in his inventory. He's just been warding like a madman. Down bottom, there's the Luna and the Invoker just cleaning up the lanes, getting pinged out by the Radiant, so it looks like they might be trying to make a rotation there. But can they be stopped? They are just so beefy. I don't know if, you know, 1 or 2 members of the Radiant would be safe picking them off. Jakiro does join them, and it looks like they're going to mount a pretty massive push bottom. They can get in pretty far without being stopped if it's only a Slark here. Jakiro dropping some more wards. Meatball does go down. Slark pops his pounce and the ultimate. Getting pretty scared of any sort of initiation happening there. Looks like an invisible Tusk is going to run in, but how much can he do? He just runs right through. There's not much he feels comfortable doing. He does Ice Shards the Invoker, who manages to dodge it. Juggernaut's coming in on the end, but he's just going to get chopped into pieces before he can cast anything. Looks like he might have been looking for a lucky Omni Slash there. Crystal Maiden feeling pretty scared. Pops down a freeze, but she's just going to get eaten by the Invoker. So it looks like the Radiant just let their team wander one by one into that pile of Dire heroes. Tusk with his Shadow Blade just kind of scouting out the area, seeing what's going down. If only Jakiro popped down one of his 5 sentry wards, they would have been able to scout that out. Does pop the Ice Path, hook from Pudge, hits nothing, and just some casual harass on Tusk saying, no, get back, this is our turf, we're ready to push. So all 5 Dire heroes are sitting on bottom. They're just pushing in this tower. Pudge does grab a really lucky hook on the Lina, but she manages to stun him up and Yules him. She is taking some pretty good damage though. Will she be able to get out of this? She does walk through and gets killed off by the Tusk. Tusk is going to be melting to the Phantom Lancer illusions, and the Luna ult being popped that just cleans up the rest of the Radiant that's nosy enough to stay there. The Freezing Ward is wandering around, but it's not really able to stop. The Dire team are able to just grab a lane of barracks here. Juggernaut swirling in, just show he's not ready to give up this game, but he does end up dying. Actually, he Omni Slashes, but he makes it out alive with his healing ward. Good job on the Juggernaut. Luna is taking some negative earn charges, does dodge a Pudge Hook, and she will be fine. So overall, the Radiant mount a pretty good defense of that. Only 3 end up going down, and the Radiant only lose a couple there, but they did lose a full set of racks. And now there's incredible vision by the Dire team, courtesy of Jakiro. So they are just not safe in their jungle anymore. Invis Rune near the Roche Pit, that could be a nice way to make another rotation in if the Dire decide to push for that. Looks like all the Dire heroes are kinda recharging, figuring out what to do next. Radiant creeps are actually doing a nice job pushing in on the mid and top lanes. Holding pretty well there. Looks like the creeps are going to be able to push all the way up to the tower, but Felina's going to be walking in to clean that up. She does grab her drums since the last time we saw her. 6 charges left, so she's had those for a little bit.
Invisibility.
And she's going to just be helping out her team. She's going pretty hard. She's hitting for a little over 100, so not that much, but she can cast her spells like a crazy woman. PL leaving his illusions mid, and Invisible CM is going to be chasing down this PL, trying to scout out what's good in the jungle. But I don't know if she'll be able to find anything. There are now 3 Dire heroes surrounding her, so she might not feel that safe. Looks like the Radiant will be bumping into Jakiro, trying to see what they can do from that. Juggernaut feeling kind of brave. He's Omni Slashing, but there are just so many illusions around. CM ult being popped, but she will end up going down. And the Jakiro Fire is going to play a big job in melting down the Juggernaut, sorry. Snowball does end up bringing down the Jakiro, but Lina will clean up the Tusk. So Radiant just kind of getting starved there. They thought they could make a nice cheeky attack, but they end up getting punished for it. So it is a 3-2 in the favor of the Dire, and overall in XP they are still sitting at the advantage point. It's not quite as dramatic as it used to be, but it's not easy for the Radiant to come back from this right now. Mega creeps are wandering in, and they're using everything they can to get him down. Pudge rotting himself halfway to death just to get these creeps out of the way. Is he stuck? No, he's going to be fine. He just needs to toggle his rod off. Looks like Dire are deciding to push in the mid tower. Pretty good rotation from them, and there's not much they can do. It's just a lone Slark sitting there saying, Team, please help. There's only so much I can do against these creeps pushing in. Unclaimed Bounty Rune at bottom. Finally some Radiant wards coming out on the rune spots. So it looks like they see that, but they just don't feel comfortable leaving their base to get it. Radiant are playing so scared right now. Clumped up, just trying to get these creeps down and defend their base. Well, the Dire are pushing their advantage. The Luna's getting nice and big now, grabbing her Manta. She's able to make 3 of herself whenever she wants, and they are just going to melt down this tower. Crystal Maiden popping in, but will she pay for her life? She will not. But the Slark dives in a little too deep. Tusk diving in. Are they going to be able to clean off the PL? They will. One lucky right click from Slark will bring him down. Dire trying to figure out what happened there. You know, one person a little overextended. PL dead for 60 seconds right now, but they should be able to group up and fight without him if they need to, or just go back and reset. Roche still unclaimed at 31 minutes. You'd think the Dire team would try to push that advantage a little bit. Radiant are going to be wandering towards mid. Top rune slot is clean. And are they going to be a big fight here? Slark getting scouted out by the Forge Spirits. And Great Ice Path, snagging 2. Pudge does pick off the Invoker, but he pops a Manta. Sorry, yeah, he does have a Manta. Wow, that's new. Pudge getting hit pretty hard by these Invoker illusions. Can he bring him down? Another hook and some rot will do the job. Is he going to die? He's going to pop an urn, but it gets immediately cancelled by one of the Forge Spirits. Looks like the rest of the Radiant team is joining this train and chasing down the Forge Spirits. Pudge will be fine. Trying to pick off some free gold from that. And looks like the Dire were just like, whoops, we got killed. We were too far ahead. With all the Lina, the Luna, the PL just gone down in the fight before, and the Invoker going down, so the Radiant still have some kick in them.
Middle tower is under attack.
Juggernaut now has his flats, as well as a poor man's shield, so he's a little more tanky, and able to survive a little longer in this team fights. But they are still being pushed in by these Mega Creeps bottom lane. They have done a sizable chunk of damage to their tier 4s, and they're worried about, you know, can they leave their base for long enough to go pick a fight, or are the creeps just going to win? PL is going to take some Ancients now. That'll help him out with his farm a little bit. He's sitting on 1.1k gold. Not too bad. Jakiro is going to try to burn down some Centaurs. He does have a Yule's as well as another 5 sentry wards, so he's ready to fight some invisible heroes. Luna pushing back down the mid, sitting on the same items we saw her with before, with Tranquil Boots instead of Treads. That's not a build I've usually seen, but it looks like it's working for her. XP is now in the favor of the Radiant after that last fight. Look at that, that's just a huge spike. They brought down the Dire and cleaned up their base. They're not ready to be counted out of this fight. Looks like the creep will be dropping off some nice items. 17 charges on Jakiro's wand. He's ready to live through a fight if he needs to. Pudge wandering up a little far, might be getting caught out by the Dire in this one instance. He does get Yules'd up. That is Jakiro's Yules being popped with the ult and the Ice Path. They are just trying to do everything to get this Pudge down. They do miss the dual breath, and Pudge should be walking back to base A-okay. Although, what is the Radiant really supposed to do here? It's 5 angry Dire heroes over on the side. The Crystal Maiden is TPing back in, but only takes some harass by the Forged Spirits. Juggernaut TPing in, try to defend against these Manta Delusions, and trying to set up some sort of fight, hopefully like the last fight, in favor of the Radiant. In terms of gold, Dire is still ahead by about 5,000, so their items are a little bit bigger, their heroes hit a little bit harder, but the Radiant is still in charge of the XP by about 3,300, which is pretty sizable considering how much of a disadvantage they are with towers. Juggernaut hitting pretty hard with this Yasha now. And Slark's Basher does proc, lucky for him. So Dire are sitting up on this little high ground platform waiting for their moment to strike at the Radiant. Looks like they can encircle them pretty well. Jakiro getting hooked in by the Pudge and will go down. Luna ult being popped, trying to take down everyone she can. Crystal Maiden with the BKB popping her ult, getting the Dire down very low. Omni Slash bringing down 2. Will he be able to get any more out of this? Looks like he's taking the PL down pretty low. Who will win in this fight? Oh my gosh. PL living with 80 HP. Looks like Luna's being hit by the negative urn. Pudge taking down another. Luna's just standing there. Will she be able to live through this? Can Tusk do anything? The negative urn might get her in the end. She does pop her stick, leaving her with, wow, still 27 HP. She's going to look like she's going to be able to run away with this. Tusk is out of mana, just kind of chasing his prey that got away. These creeps are being pinked out by Juggernaut saying, guys, go back, clean up. We don't want them to win. Double damage is sitting top, but there is no vision of that. And Bounty Rune will be picked up by the... Regen Rune swapped out and picked up by the Tusk. That'll help him out a lot with his mana. And he is going to be a little confused on where he's going. Looks like he's going bottom to clean up these massive wad of creeps heading straight for the tier 4s. Crystal Maiden going to be doing what she can, but she is so squishy. Slark with a Dark Pact picking him up. Crystal Maiden's Blink is going to be coming in handy with her BKB for next fight. Invoker Stun hits off the mark. And looks like Pudge is going to be trying to, play around with this Luna, but she is pretty damn big. She's hitting for 200 per hit. Wards by the Dire are pretty good coverage. They can see most of the middle lane. They see this Crystal Maiden pushing up towards mid. Not really in a position to punish, although the Dire is wrapping in. Do they see this Pudge? Do they know where he is? Can they pick him off? Looks like he will pull in this Luna, but who's going to come out on top? Luna goes down, but the Pudge will pay for his life as the Luna ults him down. So not too bad of a trade there for the Radiant. I mean, the Pudge does have a long respawn, but they're picking off one of the Dire's main cores. Down bottom, just Juggernaut and Tusk working together. Snowball, Ice Shards, whatever it takes to get these creeps out of the way. Phantom Lance are going to be taking down these stone golems. That'll help them out a little bit. Slark picking up an Eye of Scotty, as well as Lena getting her Aghanims. That'll help her out a lot in these next fights. Just do as much damage as she can, as quickly as she can. Jakiro is going to be pushing in, passing the Ice Path off, and just breathing all over these creeps. Trying to melt them down as good as they can. Juggernaut walking in. Can he find this pickoff? Looks like Jakiro will pop the Yules and the Ice Path to hold him in place, and he should get away safely. Slark does end up picking off the Lina. I didn't catch that one, but Tusk is now Shadow Blading in, trying to see if the Jakiro is still around. Won't find him. Just wandering around. Is he going to pick up something at the secret shop? Nope, he's just going to be wandering through towards mid. Jakiro does end up grabbing the bounty rune. 4 Serenity Wards now in his inventory, so they're just really worried about these invisible heroes and trying to take down some of the Radiant Wards to really control the map and have all the vision. Tusk does pop the Ice Shards just to kind of show him where he is, but he is not going to be doing any damage to follow that up. Juggernaut is going to be taking these Ancients with the help of his friends Tusk and Crystal Maiden to defend him in case anything goes wrong, while the Dire are pushing down mid, so it looks like they might need to take a break from these Ancients and go down to defend against their racks if it comes to that. Alright, Roche attempt coming out from the Dire, Forge Spirits and PL Illusions popping out, as well as Manted Lunas, so Roshan's going to be going down pretty fast. Doesn't look like the Radiant are going to be able to contest as they're all clumped up mid trying to defend against these creeps pushing in. Yep, the Dire's going to be doing a good job cleaning up Roche, and Phantom Lancer's going to grab the Aegis. He does have a Scotty now, as well as the Aegis and the Diffuser Blade, so he's going to hit damn hard, and good luck if you get him down, because he's coming right back and he's going to slow you to death. Juggernaut sitting out pretty exposed against this Jakiro roaming in. Going to get breathe fired, but does pop his Blade Fury. Jakiro getting caught out with the Ice Shards and then the CM stun, but getting jumped on. Pops the illusion, the BKB, sorry, but is she going to get chopped down by illusions? Omni Slash is not going to be able to bring down anyone, and Juggernaut does end up going down to the Lina ult. Can Pudge bring down this last PL? They don't know which one's real. Pudge getting Yulesed up, buying them time. Snowball comes in. Can they pick off the PL with it? And yes, Tusk will be able to... No! Tusk will not be able to pick it off. PL getting the last hit on the Tusk. And are they going to be able to clean up the Pudge on this? This would just be great for the Dire team, really showing their lead. Does get Ice Pathed up. Slark pounces in on the Lina, and PL does go down, but he does have Aegis, so he's ready to pop right back in. Slark burning hard. Is he going to be able to go down? Pounces to safety, getting stunned up, and does dodge that, but he will be A-okay. He can head back to base and regen pretty quickly. Juggernaut running away with a PL illusion. He's just so scared. He's going to get attempted to be stunned up, but he is magic immune right now. He's going to make it back to his base. Invoker's just ready to end this game. He's hitting the towers. He's just ready to be done. They're going to be starting with the tier 3s though, rather than the tier 4s, and just try to get another lane of racks in their advantage. It looks like the Dire might have an advantage. Slark's jumping on the Invoker, trying to get him down, but he gets Yulesed up and stunned up. He's just chain stunned right now. There's not much he can do. He just sleeps away. The Radiant's just really confused on what to do. CM pops her BKB, but she's just getting chunked down by right clicks by the PL and does end up going down to a Lina right click. Dire going to grab themselves another set of racks and make it harder for the Radiant to push out. Wow, the experience is way back down in the Dire's favor. That last push just got them all the way back. They cleaned up the Radiant. Snowball coming in. Tusk is able to grab the Jakiro. Takes a Lina ult to the face, but is still alive. Might go down to the Forge Spirits. Slark does clean up the Lina with his right clicks. And so the Dire are going to pay for that last push, but they get a full lane of racks and some kills off of that. Still very positive trade for them. Maybe they did overstay their welcome a little bit. Pudge walking in. He's sitting pretty nice with his Aghanim, Scepter, 4 Staff, and 4 Urn charges, so he has some pretty good sustain and mobility in these fights. He's just going to be cleaning up the lanes right now, walking around with a Rot. The Dire are sitting in the secret shop. Luna grabbing her Butterfly, ready to do even more damage per hit, and fly around like a crazy lady. PL is sitting on a Reaver, possibly building this into a heart, or something more nasty. Takes another set of Ancients. Those just melt. Those dinosaurs don't know what hit them. Luna with a double damage. She is hitting for, wow, like 400. That's heavy hitting Lady on a Tiger right there. Radiant is pushing up, but are they too scared to go that far outside their base? Tusk is like, no, come on guys, let's keep going. But the rest of the team thinks, you know, we need more vision, we just know where the Dire are, because they can just clean us up real fast. In terms of gold, Dire is sitting 13,000 ahead of the Radiant, so that is pretty big for them. They're feeling very comfortable with their advantage. Invoker sitting on some real nice items with the Mystic Staff picking up, maybe building into a Scythe on that one, just to get some extra control. Double damage Luna is still wandering the jungle and cleaning up.
Take that as tribute.
Juggernaut grabbing the bounty rune, checking the Roche, and it is still down. Still got a pretty sizable amount of time before that comes up. Pudge is farming up pretty far ahead without much vision. He might pay for this if the PL finds him. But no, he will be wandering back towards the Radiant side, or crossing the river. Looks like the Dire is rotating in, so Pudge might have to pay for this with his life. Meatball being dropped, Pudge 4-staffing himself in forward. trying to see if he can get a pick, but he's just way too far in. Yeah, he's just gonna try to see if he can take Invoker down with him, but getting cleaned up by this giant wad of PL illusions right there. There's really not much he could have done in that situation aside from being back on his own comfy side of the river. So, 4 Dire heroes up top trying to see if they can push down and maybe get the last lane of mega creeps. That would help them out a lot with this push, as it is taking Radiant most of their effort just to get out of their base and push back. Slark trying to clean up the creeps up top. Sorry, down bottom and the Dire side and grab himself another tower, make it easier to push, but he might have to get back as there are 3 Dire heroes up in the base, melting down their tier 3 towers like it's nothing. Juggernaut Blade Fury is in, but does get punished. CM BKBs and pops her ult, but there's only so much damage she can do. She is going to get chunked down. This is just not going well. Omni Slash going off does bring down 2. So Juggernaut doing a lot of work in that fight, bringing down 4 of the Dire heroes. They are all just dead for over a minute. But they do lose their tier 3 tower and now have exposed racks against creeps that are going to be pushing in without much they can do to stop them. CM did all she could in that fight, popping her BKB ult and living, but she's just so squishy. She gets brought down to like 4 right clicks.
Top barracks are under attack.
In terms of XP, this is just a crazy graph right there. The Radiant had such a comeback opportunity. Dire took it back, but it looks like it's going back in the Radiant's favor as they keep getting these clean fights and bringing down, 3, 4, 5 Radiant heroes at a time. Slark sitting up pretty damn far. He does grab the tower, but he looks like he's going to get punished for this. As Luna jumps in, he's doing a fair amount of damage to this Tiger Lady, but who's going to end up winning in the end? The Mantic does get popped, Dark Pact being popped. Can he bring her down? He does! Slark bringing this back for the Radiant as they are now pushing into the Dire tier 3s, Fortify being popped. They're leaving Juggernaut to clean up against these nasty creeps while the Pudge and the Slark push top. Slark is pretty damn low though. He's saying, we gotta get back. He's ready to go home. He's popping his ult. He's getting some regen. Where Pudge is just tanking the tower. He wants this thing down. Slark's coming back with almost full HP. Can they get this down? Yule's being popped by the Jakiro as well as Macro Pyre and Ice Path. Pudge might just be paying for this. He does bring in the Jakiro, but there's only so long he can stand in this fire before he gets killed. Force-stas himself out of the Invoker, but that was just a lot of damage the Pudge took for not a lot of reason. Slark's going to run away. It looks like both heroes are going to be getting out, although Slark does run back in, get Yuled up, and I'm betting he's dead. That's a very dead little piranha. He does ult away, but gets slowed by the Invoker and the PL Diffusal, and does get stunned up, although he is pretty speedy.
Dire's top tower is under
He's running for his life. He brings in his friend Juggernaut and CM, but the invisible Invoker just slowing him down so much, gets a pounce off of the Invoker. BKB being popped by the Jug. He's Omni slashing through these PL illusions, CM ulting, but she does get picked off pretty quickly. Jug's doing all he can, but the illusions are just too tanky and they eat up most of his Omni slash. And looks like, wow, what a chaotic fight. There's just so much going on right here. Pudge is just so confused as to what he's doing. Hooks back in his friend Tusk, who can't quite finish off the Lina. Pudge is ulting the Jakiro, but can he get him down? It looks like he will be able to pick off this Jakiro with the negative earn charge and a couple hits. So overall, 3 for 3 trade, but just very confusing, drawn-out fight as the Slark is just running for his life for a good amount of time. Mega creeps on the mid are pushing in pretty fast. Buyback from the Slark, hopefully to clean some of those up before they reach the tier 4. After that fight, the Dire is still in advantage in terms of gold, but only by about 6,000 as opposed to their 13,000 lead before. So the Radiant still have some life in them. They're sitting pretty comfortable on the Dire side mid. In terms of XP, the Radiant took a huge swing there, getting some really good picks that were really valuable, including the PL and the Invoker, who have been causing them a lot of trouble. Tusk sitting in the secret shop, sitting on his Desolator and his Chrysalis, probably buying up for his Demon Edge, so he's going to be building a crit stick pretty soon, trying to do as much damage per hit as possible. Start cleaning up the creeps down bottom. Mega creeps aren't giving them as much trouble as I thought they would be, as they do have pretty good wave clear from the Slark and the Juggernaut. CM doing what she can, so squishy, only 1600 health, but she does have her BKB, Ogre Club. It looks like she's pretty close to an Aghanims, about 800 away, and then her ult will be able to do a big amount of damage. Luna cleaning up. She does have a Morbid Mass, so maybe going for a Satanic in terms of this fight. Just do massive amounts of lifesteal, massive amounts of damage. Runes being spawned. Looks like it is regen down bottom, and Bounty up top being grabbed by the Tusk. Roche is back up, so that's something to consider for the Radiant team if they want to push their advantage. Is Pudge going to scout it out? Nope, he's just drinking his bottle and waiting for this regen rune. There we go, bottled it up. And he's sitting on actually 3,200 gold, so he's ready to buy a big item if he wants to. Looks like Dire are going to be scouting out 3 Radiant in their own jungle. Slark pouncing away, but he's a frozen little piranha. I don't know what he can do. He pops his ult. Crystal Maiden BKBs and ults. She looks like she can get a pick on the Jakiro, bringing him down really low. Pudge grabbing a great hook on the Invoker and ulting him down. Lina does ult, but not really finding anything. Pops her BKB, and she's running away pretty scared. Looks like the Radiant are now forcing back the Dire, which we didn't think would happen. Pudge missing a hook on this Lina, but he is still going to chase her down. She's popping her drums to get back pretty fast. Negative Urn, not going to be doing much harass. Luna is coming in, gets pinned by the Slark, and she's going down pretty fast. Lina casting a stun, and Luna ult is going to be bringing down the CM so fast we can get one more beam. Looks like she will be hopping into the snowball for protection, and the Walrus Punch will actually bring down the Luna. Great pick off for the Radiant, as that Luna was so key to the damage of the Dire, but Pudge is going to end up going down as one of the key players for the Radiant, so crazy fight once again. It is a 2-3, but it looks like 2 cores for the Radiant. Might be a bit of a more hurtful trade for them, as they are down their Pudge for 70 seconds and their Slark for 80. In terms of XP, the Radiant is actually climbing way up. What a crazy comeback right now, sitting at 10,000 experience earned lead, which is almost double the rest of the experience leads that we've seen so far in this game. Roche is still up and hasn't been scouted out. Crystal Maiden's doing all she can against these mega creeps, but she is so damn squishy they can bring her down in only a couple of whacks from these range creeps. She's pinging out, you know, help me, help me. PL going in. He is so tanky now, sitting on his heart, which is what he made his Reaver into. Bounty Rune sitting there. Not really interested in that. He's just interested in the Radiant team right now. He wants some blood. Tusk is so low, popping a Shadow Blade just to get away safely. He is almost there on his crit stick. He should be able to pick that up fairly soon. And that'll be a nice item for him to have so he can crit pretty damn hard on his hits and then Walrus Punch everyone to death. Juggernaut snapping up the Bounty Rune, running pretty close to this Jakiro, but does not find him. Crystal Maiden is just doing all she can against these creeps that are whacking on the tier 4s pretty hard. But there's only so much she can do. PL is sitting on the... Is that PL Illusion or is that the real one? That's the real guy. He's hitting the racks. And Juggernaut TPing in. Can he Omni Slash him down? He does manage to pop his illusions. And Juggernaut thinks best before Omni Slashing in when he's not sure which one's real. Chasing down the PL, giving him a pretty good ride. Juggernaut running pretty fast with his Phase Boots on cooldown. Is he going to be looking for an Omni Slash? Gets pigged up by the Invoker with a Sheep Stick now. Meatball, Ice Path, everything going down. Jakiro getting all his spells off, but does get pretty much solo ulted by the Jug. He does heals himself to safety, but it is not enough to save him. Juggernaut melting him down. CM, BKB ulting again. This has proved so helpful, but she isn't really catching anyone on this fight for her team. Pudge grabs a great hook and does take down the Invoker pretty easily. Looks like they are going to be gearing up on this PL, but can they find which one's real? Meanwhile, Lina is just massacring these racks up top, melting them down pretty fast. Fight between two sisters as CM comes in to try to stop her. But looks like Lina will be the winner of this fight as she does bring down the CM solo-handedly. She's grabbing the rack. She's going to make this Megas. I'm not sure what they can do. Invoker calling out the all chat. Good job. Mega creeps for the Dire. I'm not sure if they can come back from this. Net worth is now 0. Wow. GG being called, but I'm not sure the Radiant are out of this. They are still sitting on a 10,000 plus experience lead, but it doesn't really matter if they're all dead. Crystal Maiden's still dead for a minute. Slark is hitting this Lina pretty hard, does get a good stun lock. Pudge ulting her. Can they take her down? They will. Juggernaut spinning around his base trying to defend what's left of his tier 4s. Radiant really have to clean up these creeps if there's any hope of them pushing out of base. Pudge just standing there. I don't think he knows his rots off. There we go. Tusk running in favor of the Radiant, walking under two Dire wards, so they do know he's there, but there's not much they can do anyway. Pudge getting so low from these creeps. They are hitting pretty damn hard. Juggernaut doing all he can. He has his BKB sitting at 8 seconds, so still a good amount of time on that when he wants to go into the next fight. Tusk trying to help out, take care of these creeps. Wow, Invoker Sunstrike will get the Juggernaut really low, but he will be able to live and get back to his base and regen. Middle tower sitting at only about 150 health. Invoker calling out close in the all chat. trying to flaunt his good Sunstrike. Dire team is farming up, just getting ready for the next big fight. Looks like they can win if they get a good push, or let the creeps win for them as they do bring down the tier 4.
Has fallen.
Slark's doing what he can to push for his team, but he is feeling pretty unsafe
Radiant's
way up here in
Ancient
this
is
Dire
under
jungle.
attack.
Dire are going to see the Slark and rotate in for him, but will they be able to pick him off before he goes? Ancient being hit at by these creeps.
Radiant's Ancient is under
It's sitting
attack.
about 3/4 HP, still pretty healthy. Slark being caught out, bringing in one of his Radiant friends to help him out. Jakiro will find the Slark, heals him up, and gets caught in. Can the Pudge ult him down real easy? He can. Slark will take down the Jakiro, but can they bring the Luna down as well? Slark popping the ult to get some good regen and move speed, but he's blocking himself in with the Pudge. Luna's running away for all she's worth. She does have her Helm of the Dominator now. I don't know where her little creep friend is, but... Oh, there's her Mantas. I've never seen that before. Blade Fury in a snowball is going to try to bring down the Invoker, but he will be able to invis himself away. They're taking down these creeps as best as they can, but the Ancient's under attack right now. Crystal Maiden popping BKB and all, but PL is hitting her so damn hard. Is he going to be able to bring her down? He will. Can he take care of the Ancient? No, Juggernaut will come in and Omni slashes him to death. But some good work on the Ancient, and Crystal Maiden is dead for another 75 seconds. They do manage to defend their Ancient for now, which is the objective of the game, but not for long, as more and more Dire Mega Creeps just keep walking in to try to slam on these buildings.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
Courier looks like it's flying to the secret shop for Juggernaut. Wonder what he's going to pick up for that. Maybe a Blade Fury? I'm not sure what he's trying to get. I mean, sorry, Battle Fury. Slark pinging out help, help, he's so low. His ult is up, so if he needs that extra regen, he can go ahead and pop it. Lena's helping the creeps push in with her spells, stunning up the rest of the Radiant creeps. My goodness, I can't speak right now. It's taking both a Tusk and a Juggernaut, fed 55 minutes into the game just to clean up these creeps. Invoker is hitting on the Ancient. He is just ready for this game to be done. Juggernaut does pick up a Battle Fury just to help out whacking on these creeps, but it looks like it is going to go to the Dire as they're able to just hit the Ancient harder and harder. It will be Dire victory. Looks like the Dire had really early control in this game. They picked a more farming-oriented lineup, and it does pay off for them. They get the Luna big enough, they get the Invoker big enough. The Luna did great work bottom lane early game, and they just kept their lead. There was a comeback by the Radiant team a little bit earlier, as they sat at about 10,000 experience lead, but
you're hot.
they just weren't able to fight the tower deficit. The Mega Creeps were pushing in mid and bottom, and the Radiant just couldn't clean them up in time. So good job on the Dire. Props to Lina, who just kept the early game totally under control and helped the Dire get the lead that they had. So once again, I'm Annie, aka Android, and thank you so much for watching my cast. I'm still really new at this, as you could probably tell, so feel free to leave any feedback in the comments, and I would love to hear it. Thank you so much.